Hey yo, it's your boy Los. All right, so it's time to get it's time to get on the road. Yo, I'm so tired. Like real life, man. I am dead to the wall, tired, man. Couldn't sleep at all. Super nervous, super excited. Um, Plus my allergies is acting up, and nothing seems to. What's wrong with my sweater? Nothing seems to help your boy out, but man, I'm good. About to get on the road, stop at the gas station, get some energy drinks, grab some food because I haven't eaten really all day. Man, I'm about to get it. All right, so I'm gonna check in periodically throughout the trip, not too much, but I gotta get there. All right, so see y'all in a minute. All right.
What a mighty God I serve, created the earth by word. He spoke it like it was from the bugs in the mud to the doves up above. I've learned that he came down to love, he was slain for the blood to remit my sin for sure. And Christ is the door, and the Father drew me in, cause the word of the Spirit it burns. The beginning of the end that the old man made new in Christ, and I know that they do dislike how he's holy, yet truly he is the only way to a home in glory. The proof is in his story, they slew him, he bled for me, he rose, we got victory now. That ought to put you down on your own face. If it doesn't, then I hope you're gonna know grace. Cause there's nowhere to hide, there's no place that God don't reside and he don't stay. Every sin that's committed gon' be paid. Either at the cross or the throne on D-Day. Searching for the lost to bring him home into his glory. Preaching repentance like he's coming in a hurry. I'm trying to put the image in your head like you're dropping acid. Hoping that you're never coming down from that hit. The God is the greatest and the one can match him. There was nothing here before him, there'll be nothing that. His spirit is eternal and it just so happens. He connected me to Christ and you can't detach it. And it got me so excited that I'm ready to rap.
So basically, like this is like South Omaha. You know, it's like predominantly Mexican, but like at the same time, a lot of black people over here, a lot of homeowners, whatnot, like and so forth. Diet Street splits North to South Omaha for the most part. North Omaha is mostly like you're predominantly black. If you come over here, they can get a little shot. Like you can see, this is like those are two of our. This is Omaha, like that's a big city. Like, that's it's the biggest city in Nebraska. Those are the two tallest buildings, like in the city. Like so, that's practically downtown. So we're really more so close to downtown than it is like South Omaha. But
Is this home for you?
yeah, this
I mean, like you grew up here?
So okay, so I grew up here in Omaha,
Okay.
from Chicago originally,
Okay.
but grew up here from like 1990. Been here. So I pretty much say, yeah, this is home at this point. Like I know this way better than Chicago.
Right.
But I grew up more so like what's called the Benson area,
Okay.
which is a little bit nicer. You know, two-parent home. You know, I'm just being honest with you. You know, my family was. I grew up in a church home. I grew up in a home that carried us to church, and so like this is my city. Like I know how to get around. I got roots here. You know, been here for like it's been over 30 years now. So at this point, man, it's just you know it's home. Yeah, it's home.
So you grew up with Christ. Yeah.
So, if you pay attention to some of the songs, I grew up in the church. I grew up on a church, man, and you know I was part of the music department. If you know anything about the music department in a black church, man, you know, I ain't gonna say too much, you know, but no, I think I always pondered as a matter of fact, because I was baptized at the age of 6, but that was in Chicago. Shout out to Pastor John, Pleasant Ridge Missionary Baptist Church. Baptized at the age of 6, and you know, so grew up in it. You know, Sunday school. I was part of some of everything, man. I've been on the usher board, been in the choir, junior deacons. Man, I've taught Sunday school as a teenager. I remember going to my pastor, asking him, like, "Hey, I want to teach Sunday school." He says, "Well, come teach me," and made me like prepare Sunday school lessons. And then at one time, I was able to lead a Sunday school class for the adults. Like that was just like one-time special thing. But in the meantime, in all honesty, though, it was like, you know, I was holy on Sunday. You know, Monday through Saturday, you know, I was less than. You know, and so, you know, long story short, man, at some point, somewhere around there, it all began to get real. And so, like, I often wonder, like, hey, well, was I saved then and just, you know, like, going through sanctification and all this other stuff, or was I never saved? Was I not really saved then, but like somehow along the line became like I hate it sometimes, like not being able to tell somebody like I know that day and I know that hour when I first received. Like I don't know what happened. I know just gradually over time I was drawn into repentance by God, and so I know I'm saved now. I feel like that's what matters. So
Was this a charismatic movement at the beginning and now reformed, or was reformed beginning, or?
you know, so you're bringing out terms that I knew nothing about growing up, but really we were Baptists. But we was the type of Baptist church that would shout. But I wouldn't say that they're Pentecostal. I wouldn't say that we were Pentecostal or charismatic even, but like there'll be some times where, you know, like we get it in, you know. Matter of fact, I was a drummer, right? So we used to
Used to kill that one side of the drum set.
all day. No, so like, but like we used to record our services. Greater New Hope, which is not too far from here, church I grew up at, and we used to record our services, and so they would show up like a week later on the local access channel. So one time, man, like, you know, we doing it, like we getting it in. I'm on the drum set, just tearing it up. And this lady, I didn't know what happened on the day that it happened, but when I watched it the next week, this lady, she was like on the alto row. Back then, it used to be sopranos, altos, and tenors. Now they do it a little differently, but it used to be sopranos in the front, altos in the middle, tenors in the back. And she was on the alto row, and she was all the way on the other side. And she knocked everybody out going down that row, and then came down and like fell on top of me while I was drumming. And I don't know what it was that was in me that kept drumming, but I was like, you know, like I never lost a beat. I was just like, oh man, what's happening? And, you know, she rolled all over on me. I was like, okay. Hi-hat and all moved. It was like, it was crazy, man. Like, good times, man. You don't get that in a Reformed church.
So was there tongues?
No, not in our church.
Okay.
Not really.
So
No,
was it quote unquote, was it the spirit hit her?
Yeah, but you will see like there was this one lady, I wish I could remember her name. It was like, it used to be so funny because like in the sanctuary, you had a door over here and a door, both of those doors like go to the back of the church. And so, you know, like we didn't get tongues and stuff like that, but every so often this one lady, she would just scream, ah! She would run and she'd hit one of those doors, boom, like you would hear it. Like it was the funniest thing. Like we probably, there was one lady, I don't know if you remember Street Fighter, right? On Street Fighter, they had a character by the name of T-Hawk. He was like a Native American, and he used to make this noise like, yeah! There was a lady who made that exact same noise, and I had never noticed it until her grandson was like, hey man, when my grandmama catch the spirit, she sound like T-Hawk. And when he said that, like I was never, the church was never the same for me. Not with her, you know, and so forth. But like, yeah, it wasn't like a bunch of, it wasn't what MacArthur had done, charismatic chaos and so forth. It was none of that. Quite frankly, man, like I have a lot of people who I would attribute to like pouring into me, like as a Christian, you know, like he, my man, a lot of people talk trash about him, but Deacon Gordon taught me some stuff that stuck with me to this day. And like he used to talk a lot about the previous pastor before the pastor, that current pastor, and that previous pastor. His name was Pastor Kelly. I never met the man that passed before I came on. But he would say how, he would always say, on your wellest day, you're sick enough to die. That little bit of a lesson there helped me to realize that like we don't really have time to waste down here. We don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. Like we have these moments, and we have these gifts, and we have these abilities, we have these opportunities. Like take them, you know, take them. Do it like something. Be smart about it. Like don't just like jump into anything and not count the cost, but take them. Like that, I learned that as a young boy. It was from him also that I learned that you can be 9 years old and be a man, and be 99 years old and be a boy. You know, I mean, I learned those are some of the things that just stuck with me. Sister Fran Fitzpatrick, I used to love her. She was an encourager, and she would talk to me like in a way that nobody else talked to me. Like she made me feel like I was somebody, and quite frankly, I was somebody who was quite often made to feel like I wasn't that important. Not by my parents, my family, you know what I mean? It's just that like in school, I was the outcast. Like in church, I had like, you know, I had some pretty decent friends in church, but like really like I spent more time at school, so it's like I spent a lot of time alone. Even like in the neighborhood. I've been interesting story, man. Like I've always kind of especially since we moved here. Originally, you know, I kind of had like an Illinois accent. You take this right.
Okay.
You know, so it was a little different than what some of the kids around here was, and I would have to you know, I would just have to deal with like just being left out of stuff, man. I remember, you know, and it was.
You had an Illinois accent?
I don't know if that was the case, man. Like it was. I don't know if it was because of that or like what it was. Like it was just like, dude, like I remember, like, yeah, you just gonna keep straight. You know, I remember like the black kids. I went to the black kids first, and I'm like, you know, the black boys was playing tag, and like I'm trying to play tag with them. I was like, yo, they was like, you ain't with us. And we same classroom, and it's like, man, you ain't with us. And I was like, why not? And it was like, man, yeah, cause you're too weak, you know, and other jazz. I like what? Like, it's like, yeah. So
Should just punch you in the face.
I should have, you know. Hey, man, funny story, man. I did end up fighting one of them before a couple of times that year. I've been actually fighting a couple of them.
Goodness.
A couple of times that year. I was getting into a lot of fights at this point because it's like I wasn't one for being bullied, but at the same time, you know, it was like, dude, all I wanted was like, you know, just wanted somebody to relate to. That was 4th grade, you know, with the black kids. 5th grade, it was with the white kids.
Good.
You know, and
Same school?
No, same group of kids, different school building. Because like that, it was weird. That school only went up to 4th grade, and so we went to another school for 5th grade, which really was just like a temporary thing, while the school that we were actually supposed to be a part of was getting remodeled. And so again, like, now mind you, in the 4th grade, you know, getting kind of rejected from the from the black kids, and the white kids are kind of just tolerating me. 5th grade is like the opposite, you know, getting kind of tolerated by the black kids, but man, I was getting bullied. That was my first experiences with racism, I would say, in a sense, you know. And I'm not one. If you know me, I'm not one for calling everything racist. But like, yo, you know, when a white kid tells me to go back to Africa, what am I supposed to think, you know?
Right.
And which you know, at the time, like I'm surprised I thought to say this, but I was like, dude, like how you telling me to go back to somewhere I've never been?
Right.
I was like, I don't tell you to go back to Switzerland. Like that doesn't even make sense to me. Ended up fighting that kid. That, you know, but when I fought him after that, he kind of like left me alone.
Right.
And then 6th grade, it was cool, you know, like it was pretty decent. Like at that point now, some of these kids gotten to know me. You know, nobody I would call like my best friend. But like, you know, when you go to school, like there was kids to where it's like, yo, like, you know, I had kids who was like, if I was talking trash, like I had kids in my corner going like, oh, you know, like I had some of those, you know, egging me on, acting up in this class and so forth. 7th grade, I went to a Christian school. And at this Christian school, I was the only black boy from 7th grade all the way up, you know, because it was all the way through high school. I was the only black boy from 7th grade on up. There was 2 other black girls there. Yeah, you're gonna turn this. You're gonna take this left, and then, I think it's 28th or 27th. I know it when I see it. You're gonna turn right to because we're gonna jump on Highway 75. But like you know, there again, it was like I was being tolerated. That's how I felt. You're gonna jump into at the lights. You're gonna turn right, so you jump into this lane over here. So that's kind of how I felt. Got a little bit of hazing from some upperclassmen once, and they clowned me for reporting them. But I'm like, yo, dude, like y'all almost stuck my hand in the toilet. Y'all, somebody got
to pay for this.
Yeah, somebody got to pay for it. You know what I mean? Then there was this one kid that was talking mad trash. And I knew I could whoop him. Like, I knew, you know, we're in a Christian school. This is my thought process, right? I knew I could whoop him. And we in gym, and he just talking stuff. I said, you know what? I said, yo, I remember his name was James. I said, you know what, James? Let me see you talk this. Like, let me see you talk that in the locker room, right? We go to the locker room. I say, yo, it's nothing but space and opportunity. What you got to say? And, you know, it's like nothing. Somebody came and broke the fight. We was cool. I'm like, all right, we cool. I kid you not, I promise you, I'm walking away from this fight.
Right.
The kid sucker punched me. I slammed his head into the sink. I don't know why I was so angry as a child. But man, like, you know, and I ain't had no problem out of him for the rest of the year. But that was my only year there. Then 8th grade, I'm back at a school that's predominantly black, and I was the outcast. But dude, like, I never felt so out of place in my life. Like, I don't know how to, and even, and what really hurt about that year, there was some kids who were like neighborhood friends, right? These kids would come over my house. We playing basketball in my driveway, watching movies and stuff like that together, stealing stuff from stores together, all that. We get to school, they act funny.
Gotcha.
Like that cut, it was just like, man, I thought, and again, he tolerated me at the lunch table, but it's nah, you, like you're a little weird, so.
So help me understand this, so I hear a lot of early frustration, right? But you're rapping and who you are that I we talk regularly, but I don't get that same person.
Yeah.
So when did that switch happen? When did you go from being ready to fight, ready to throw down, to I've said before, this is no shade to you.
Yeah.
But I said you're like the Will Smith. I was thinking about this on the way up here, right?
Yeah.
I always say you're like the Will Smith of Christian hip hop, right? Because you're safe. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to, even though your demeanor may look like a little rugged or like that, but you're not trying to be that guy, right? You're not trying to be like God over money or anything like that.
Yeah, right. You're gonna want to get off on Ames where it says Ames next, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
But yeah, you're not trying to be that guy, right? But then I thought also it's like you also remind me like the Steph Curry of Christian hip hop, and I said that because Stephen A. Smith said something one time. He brought up how basically America accepts Steph Curry because he's considered safe, as opposed to Allen Iverson, who was always the same guy, but he was a rugged guy, the jewelry, the tattoos, so on and so forth. And America was scared of him. But Steph Curry has that baby face. Your style is that quote unquote baby face style, where you're not trying to be over lyrical. Yeah. Then again, also you're not trying to be over theological. Yeah. But then also you're not trying to. Even in your videos, you're not, walking with this gangster lean with it. Yeah. So, where did you go? How'd you go from being who seemed like the kid with a chip on his shoulder, to this kind of not passive, but just a cool cat? Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. Okay. Honestly, like legit, it does. And the best way I know to answer, man, is the grace of God. Like when I had identity issues, I would say, in the terms of where I got to a point to where I would try to meld in with people, and so forth. But when I really began to understand the gospel, I really began to understand who God is, and as my creator, I began to understand who I am, and the type of person that I wanted to be. And I didn't want to be a person who's always angry. I didn't want to be a person who has a chip on the shoulder. I didn't want to be a person seeking revenge. I wanted to be the person that when I read Romans, what is it? Oh my goodness, Romans 12. When it talks about the marks of a true Christian. When I would read that in scripture, it's man, I want to be that person. Right. I want, and so and it was by the grace of God that I went from looking at people as objects that could be hit to image bearers of God, and so that's what changed, because because before that, like I said, even still, I tell people in a heartbeat, and I think people who know me, I was never really a gangster, but once I got once I got people knew, when I got to high school, my best friend to this day, love him in life, shout out to my man DC, I met him freshman orientation, and he's probably, as far as Omaha is concerned, as far as schooling is concerned, the first person who actually be a true friend to me. Okay. He was somebody who had my back from the nines. We had so much in common, but from different sides of the track. We're his. I'm 2-parent home. His daddy was a drug addict who abandoned him. And so forth. And 2 black parents. His mama was white. It was there was things about us that we connected, comedically, we just linked up from freshman orientation. We remember our first conversation, from freshman orientation, we was just, I don't know what it was about it, but it was with him, I started doing criminal stuff. Gotcha. You know what I mean? And because it was I found myself even trying to imitate him at times or whatnot. Because again, I told you, I had this identity issue. But I would get into trouble with him, and then I ended up meeting more people, and we became kind of tight and kind of close and so forth. And we was doing just dirt. I mean, nothing big. I'm not pushing weight or nothing like that. But we was just out here just grimy. And when I look back on it all, like really what it was like I had no regard for the people to whom I was doing these things to, you know. And so when I got closer to God, when God drew me closer to Him, I'm gonna say it like that.
Right.
When He basically really worked on my heart, you know, I just began to see people as image bearers of God and as people who need to be loved, you know, just like I needed to be loved. And everything that anybody have denied me, which, by the way, like I said, I say I told you about all the negative stuff. There was a lot of people who did take time to pour into me. You know, like I said earlier, I was talking about Franz Fitzpatrick, who she would look me in my face and say, you know what, there's something special about you. You know, and I could see it, you know, and you're going to do something special, and I know it, you know. And it wasn't like that whole God told me this, like no, it was like
just encouraging.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just she was and like anybody who knew her, like if I brought her up, they would say like, yes, she was an encourager. That's what she did. Okay. She encouraged people to be the best and to be, you know, to be great and to do great things and to go on. She was an inspiration, you know. So like I had people like her. I had my family members. Like, dude, my family is weird. like family drama, we don't do it. We don't have it. And I'm talking like to the extended family. Okay. Our family reunions, we get together, there's no fights. You know, me, my brother, and my sister, we're close. Okay. My mom and my dad, still together. My dad and my mom's ex-husband, good friends.
Goodness.
You know what I mean? Like it's like right. You know what I mean? Like we it's. I kid you not. It's. I don't understand. It's. There's certain things.
Y'all fix these roads?
And please, who?
Hey,
Mayor Stothard. Atlanta. Hey, they speaking. Yo, listen. We
the shocks is good on this bad boy. We done.
Dude. Hey, yo, nah, a couple winters ago, man, you should have seen these potholes, man. I was like, yo, like. Hey, what's really going on? Like, this North Omaha, man. It's the hood. Welcome to it. Yeah. And all the hills. But I mean, you know, like our family unit is tight, man. Right. Like that's just you know, like there was a lot that was instilled to me from my parents, my brother and my sisters, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. Like a lot of that stuff. Like God placed me providentially in this family. And all of that helped shape me to be who I am. And all that stuff, like all that stuff that I regret, quite frankly, I learned a lot about fallenness, about brokenness. And so, you know, I'm always like sweeping around my own front door before I'm looking at somebody else's. I wasn't always like that, man. Right. Like there's an interesting story there.
So I'm sorry. So would you say that your quote unquote Will Smith Fresh Prince style comes from the family you grew up in, where there was love with your family and everything was cool and peaceful? Mm-hmm. And so, like, who was it? Rakim. Yeah. Rakim made a statement before that he didn't cuss in his music because his grandma and his parents would listen to his music. Yeah. So he didn't want to play music to disrespect his family. Yeah. And it wasn't because, you know, he thought cuss was bad, because Rakim, he cussed like with the rest of them. Yeah. But for the sake of his family, he chose to go a different cussless route. So would you say your rap style is what it is because of respect for your family and those you grew up with, or is it just came out the way that it is?
I think it just came the way that it is. Okay. I mean, that could be a thing with it. Like even when like I wasn't always like a Christian rapper. Like that was the time where there was a time I kind of struggle with these terms now about being Christian rapper, secular rapper, this and that. But nevertheless, there was a time where I was making music that wasn't Christ-centered, right? And but like, even still, like when making that music, I didn't cuss a whole lot because I felt like that actually showed a lack of skill. Okay. I felt like cuss words were like cuss words were like fillers, and it was like, nah, I kind of wanted to like find words to fill in those gaps, even if it's a goofy word like shucks instead of whatever.
So let's get on that real quick. Yeah. Let's discuss that real quick. So, okay, so on your song, right?
I think it's this spot like up here to the left a little bit. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember the song it was though.
And that seafood joint.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But before we go in there though, I gotta know, man, what? I don't want to use the term possessed, right? Because that's disrespectful. Yeah. What came over you to write a verse where you said, Mecca, Mecca high, Mega Heidi Ho.
I like that. It's the next line.
You can't like that.
No, I like that question. That's
okay.
That's a really good question. So you know where I got it from, right?
Yes, the PB Herman.
Right,
yeah.
right. But
When I first heard it, it took me back. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, "Am I 5?" Like,
yeah. So like